Hello there. It is good to have you here tonight. The world outside has grown quiet, or at least we are going to make it so. You have carried the weight of the day long enough. The noise, the lights, the endless stream of demands. You can set them all down now. Think of them as heavy cloaks that you unclasped from your shoulders, letting them fall to the floor in a heap. You do not need them where we are going. Tonight, we are going to travel back, far back, to a time when the world was younger and the shadows were longer. We are going to speak of bloodlines, of names that carry weight, of legacies that wind through history like dark rivers flowing underground. Before we step into the flickering torchlight of the past, if you find a sense of calm in these stories, if the quiet exploration of history's darker corners helps you find your own peace, please gently leave a like and subscribe. It is a small gesture, like nodding to a fellow traveler on a long, quiet road, letting us know that you are here, drifting with us. Now, settle in. You do not need to close your eyes just yet, if you are not ready. Just let your gaze soften. Let your focus blur. Imagine you are sitting in a great stone hall. The walls are high and lost in shadow. A fire burns in the hearth, but it is low, just a bed of glowing red embers. The air is cool and still. It smells of old stone, of beeswax candles, and of distant rain. We are going to tell the story of the House of Atreus. But we must begin at the root. We must begin with a dinner invitation. Imagine a table, not a wooden table like you might have in your kitchen, but a table carved from a single slab of marble, veined with gold. It sits atop Mount Olympus, high above the clouds, where the air is thin and sweet. Seated at this table is Tantalus. He is a king, the king of Lydia, and he is mortal. This is a rare thing, for a mortal to sit here. The seats around him are filled with beings of immense light and power. Zeus, with his beard like storm clouds. Poseidon, smelling of salt and deep water. Hermes, quick and shimmering. Tantalus has been given everything. He drinks the nectar of the gods, a liquid so golden and warm it feels like swallowing sunlight. He eats ambrosia, which tastes of honey and eternal youth. He listens to the secrets of the universe, whispered over silver goblets. But Tantalus is not satisfied. There is a flaw in him, a crack in the marble of his soul. It is a specific kind of arrogance the Greeks called hubris. He looks around at these gods, these beings of infinite power, and he wonders, are they truly all-knowing? Can they be tricked? It is a dangerous thought, a seed of darkness planted in a garden of light. And so, Tantalus decides to host a feast of his own. He invites the gods down from their mountain to his palace in Lydia. Imagine the preparations. The servants moving silently through the corridors, lighting thousands of oil lamps, the scent of roasting meats and expensive spices filling the air, saffron, cumin, garlic. The table is set with golden vessels and platters of polished ivory. Tantalus stands at the head of the table. He smiles, but his eyes are cold. He has prepared a stew, a rich, fragrant, thick stew. The steam rises from the bowl, curling into the air like a phantom. The gods sit. They are gracious guests. They pick up their spoons. But there is a tension in the room, a vibration in the air. Tantalus waits. He holds his breath, because the main ingredient of this stew is his own son, Pelops. It is a horror so profound it creates a silence of its own. Tantalus has sacrificed his heir, chopped him up, and hidden him beneath the gravy and the herbs. He wants to know if the gods can taste mortality. He wants to know if they can taste the sin. Zeus freezes. His spoon hovers inches from the bowl. He smells it, the metallic tang of human blood, masked by the sweetness of the wine sauce. Poseidon pushes his bowl away, the scrape of gold against wood echoing loudly in the hall. Hermes turns pale, his winged sandals fluttering nervously. They know. They sense the atrocity. the violation of the most sacred laws of hospitality and nature. But there is one goddess who does not notice. They Mater, the goddess of the harvest. She is distracted. Her mind is wandering in a dark place of its own. She is grieving for her daughter, Persephone, who has been taken to the underworld. Her heart is broken, her senses dulled by sorrow. She stares blankly ahead, lost in the memory of her daughter's face. Absent-mindedly, she reaches out. She takes a piece of meat from the bowl. It is the shoulder. She eats it. Crunch. The sound is small, but in the silence of the room, it sounds like a thunderclap. The other gods freeze. Demeter blinks, coming back to reality. She looks down. She realizes what she has done. The horror washes over the room like a cold wave. Tantalus smiles. He thinks he has won. He thinks he has proven that the gods are flawed. But the silence of the gods is not the silence of defeat. It is the silence of a gathering storm. They rise. The judgment is swift. It is absolute. They push the table aside. They cannot undo the death, but they can reshape it. They gather the pieces of the boy, Pelops. They put him back together, like a macabre puzzle of flesh and bone. But the shoulder is missing, the piece Demeter ate. So Hephaestus, the smith god, fashions a new shoulder, not of flesh, but of ivory, smooth, cool, white. He fits it into place. Pelops takes a breath, gasp. He returns to the land of the living, marked forever by the cold, hard touch of the ivory. He is alive, but he is changed. He has seen the other side. But for Tantalus, there is no restoration. There is only the long, slow descent. They cast him down, not just out of the palace, but out of the world. Down, 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 into the deepest pit of the underworld, into Tartarus. It is a place of shadows and stillness, a place where time does not exist. Imagine his punishment. It is a masterpiece of torture. He is made to stand in a pool of water, cool, clear, refreshing water. It laps against his chin. It ripples around his waist. He is thirsty, a thirst that burns like fire in his throat, a thirst that has lasted for 1,000 years. Slowly, he bends his head to drink. Lap, lap, shh. Watch the water. As his lips approach the surface, the water recedes. It drains away into the dark earth, vanishing into the mud, leaving only dry, cracked ground beneath his feet. He straightens up, gasping. The water rises again, cool, tempting, right there. He tries again. He bends. The water flees. It is a rhythm, a hypnotic, endless cycle of need and denial. Rise and fall. Rise and fall, like the tide, like the breath of a sleeping giant. And above him, branches laden with fruit, pears, pomegranates, figs, apples. They hang low, heavy with juice, smelling of sweet nectar. They brush against his forehead. He is hungry, a hunger that gnaws at his belly. He reaches up. His hand stretches out. His fingers brush the fuzzy skin of a peach. Whoosh! A sudden wind blows. It lifts the branches up, just out of reach, just an inch. He jumps. He grabs at the air. He catches nothing but the wind. The wind dies down. The branches lower. They taunt him. Reach. Wait. Recede. Reach. Wait. Recede. This is the origin of the word tantalize. To be forever close, but never touching. To have the object of your desire, right there, shimmering in the gloom, but separated by an invisible wall of fate. Imagine standing there with him, not in suffering, but in observation. The darkness of Tartarus is soft. It is velvety. The only sound is the water draining away and returning. Gurgle, rush, silence. Gurgle, rush, silence. It is a boring rhythm, a monotonous rhythm. It is the rhythm of eternity. Tantalus has stopped screaming long ago. Now, he just stands. He waits. He bends. He reaches. It has become a dance. A slow, sad dance in the dark. He is the first anchor of the curse. The first knot in the string. His sin was eating at the table of the gods. His punishment is to never eat again. The symmetry is perfect. The balance is restored. And as we watch him standing in that cool, dark pool, we feel a heaviness in our own limbs, a sense of sinking. We are not thirsty. We are not hungry. We are safe. We can let the image of Tantalus fade into the shadows. Let the water rise and cover him. Let the darkness swallow the fruit trees. He is gone. He is history. But the boy with the ivory shoulder, he is still here. And his story is just beginning. We leave the damp, echoing silence of the underworld behind. We drift upwards through the layers of earth and stone, back to the surface, back to the world of sun and wind and sea. We are following Pelops, the boy who was stew, the boy who came back. He is a young man now, handsome, strong, but if you look closely, you can see the difference. When he moves his left arm, there is a stiffness, a heaviness. Beneath his tunic, the shoulder glows. Ivory. It is cold to the touch. It does not tan in the sun. It does not sweat. It is a constant reminder of the darkness he came from, a piece of the divine, inanimate world grafted onto his living flesh. It makes him feel separate from other men. It makes him ambitious. He does not want a simple life. He has died once. He does not fear death anymore. He fears insignificance. He travels to the city of Pisa, not the one with the leaning tower, but the ancient Greek city ruled by King Oenomaus. King Oenomaus has a daughter, Hippodamia. She is beautiful, of course. All princesses in these stories are, but she is also a trap. Her father, the king, is terrified. A prophecy, always a prophecy, whispered to him that he would die at the hands of his son-in-law. So, he has devised a test, a filter for suitors, a chariot race. To marry the daughter, the suitor must race the king. If the suitor wins, he gets the girl and the kingdom. If the suitor loses, he dies. And the king? He has a secret weapon. He has horses given to him by Ares, the god of war. Horses faster than the north wind. Horses that breathe fire and foam blood. No mortal can beat them. Imagine arriving at the palace of Oenomaus. It stands on a cliff overlooking the sea. As Pelops approaches, he sees the walls. They are high, stone, gray, and decorated, but not with flags, not with tapestries, with heads. The severed heads of the suitors who came before him. There are 12 of them, 12 young men who thought they were fast enough. Their faces are dried leather now. Their eyes are empty sockets staring out at the horizon. The wind whistles through their jaws. Who? Woo! It is a gruesome wind chime. Most men would turn around. Most men would run. But Pelops touches his ivory shoulder. He feels the cold, hard smoothness of it. He does not turn. He is not like other men. He looks at the heads and thinks, I will not be the 13th. But Pelops is not just brave. He is clever. Or perhaps he is corrupt. The line is thin in this family. He knows he cannot beat divine horses with mortal ones. He needs an edge. He needs a cheat. He finds the king's charioteer, a man named Myrtilus. Myrtilus is the son of Hermes. He is skilled. He maintains the king's chariot. He knows every bolt, every strap, every piece of wood. Pelops meets him in the stables at night. The air is thick with the smell of hay and horse sweat. The divine horses of Ares are sleeping, their breathing heavy and deep, like a furnace. It is dark. Only the moon illuminates their faces. Pelops whispers to Myrtilus. He offers him a bribe. Help me win, Pelops says, and I will give you half the kingdom. And then he offers something else, something darker. Depending on who tells the story, he promises Myrtilus a night with the princess Hippodamia. It is a promise he has no intention of keeping. But words are cheap in the dark. Myrtilus agrees. He loves the princess too, in secret. Or perhaps he just hates the king. He goes to the king's chariot. He kneels in the straw. He takes out his tools. He removes the linchpins from the wheels. The linchpins are bronze, strong, solid. They hold the wheels to the axle. Without them, the wheels fall off. Myrtilus replaces the bronze pins with new ones, pins made of wax, beeswax, hard, yellow, sticky, wax. In the cool of the night, they feel solid. They look like bronze if you don't look too closely. But wax cannot hold. Not when the heat rises. Myrtilus smiles. He has set the trap. The clock is ticking. The next morning, the race begins. The sun is high. The sky is a brutal, blinding blue. The king stands in his chariot, confident. He has his spear. He intends to spear Pelops in the back as he passes him. Pelops stands in his chariot. Beside him is Hippodamia. She is the prize, but she is also the passenger. She stands silent, her veil fluttering in the wind. The signal is given. Go. The horses surge forward. Dust explodes into the air. A cloud of gold and grit. The sound is deafening. Thud, thud, thud. The rhythmic pounding of hooves. The rattle of wood. The grinding of wheels on the dirt track. Pelops takes the lead. His horses are fast, but the king's horses are divine. They gain on him. The king is getting closer. He raises his spear. He is ready to kill suitor number 13. But then, physics takes over. The wheels of the king's chariot are spinning fast. Friction. Friction creates heat. The axle warms up. The hub warms up. The wax pins begin to soften. Imagine the wax. Solid molecules vibrating, loosening, turning to liquid. A slow, golden tear of wax drips from the wheel. Then another. The structure is failing. It is a slow-motion disaster. The king is laughing, closing in for the kill. And then, snap, the pin gives way. The wheel detaches. It flies off, rolling away into the dust like a discarded coin. The chariot collapses. The axle hits the ground. Crash. Splinters of wood fly. The king is thrown, tangled in the reins, dragged by the divine horses who do not stop. It is a violent end. The prophecy is fulfilled. The king dies. Pelops wins. Silence falls over the track. The dust settles. Pelops stands victorious. The ivory shoulder gleams in the sunlight. He has the girl. He has the kingdom. But he also has a loose end. Myrtilus, the charioteer, comes to him, smiling. He wants his reward. He wants half the kingdom. He wants the princess. Pelops looks at him. He sees a liability. He sees a witness. He invites Myrtilus for a ride. Let us celebrate, he says. They drive along the cliffs. The high cliffs overlooking the Aegean Sea. The sea below is a deep, dark blue. The waves crash against the jagged rocks. Crash, hiss, crash, hiss. It is a long way down. Pelops stops the chariot. He looks at Myrtilus. There is no gratitude in his eyes, only cold calculation. He pushes him. It is not a fight. It is a shove. Myrtilus stumbles. He loses his footing on the loose gravel. He falls. Time seems to stretch as he falls. Down, down, toward the white foam of the sea. And as he falls, before he hits the water, Myrtilus screams. He does not scream for help. He screams a curse. I curse you, Pelops. I curse your house. I curse your line. May betrayal follow you as you have followed me. May blood answer blood. The wind catches the words. It carries them up to the ears of the gods. And the gods, who are always listening, take note. Splash, The body hits the water. The sea swallows him. Myrtilus is gone. Pelops stands alone on the cliff. The wind whips his cloak. He thinks he is safe. He thinks he has won. He has the crown. He has the queen. But the curse has landed. It has hooked itself into his skin like a barb. It is invisible. It weighs nothing. But it is heavier than the ivory shoulder. Heavier than the kingdom. It will not strike him today. Or tomorrow. It will wait. It will wait for his sons. And his sons' sons. It will seep into the groundwater of his family tree, poisoning the roots. Pelops turns the chariot around. He rides back to the palace. The sun sets, painting the sky in shades of bruised purple and blood red. The shadows lengthen. The heads on the wall are taken down. But new ghosts are taking their place. The House of Atreus has begun its long, dark march into history. Pelops sleeps that night in a bed of silk, but in his dreams, he hears the sound of wax dripping. Drip, 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 and the sound of the sea waiting below. The curse is awake, and it is hungry. We leave Pelops there, sleeping his uneasy sleep. We pull back from the cliff edge. The sound of the waves fades into a gentle, rhythmic hush. You are safe. You are not on the cliff. You are in your bed. The wax holds your world together firmly. The wheels of your life are secure. Let the image of the chariot fade. Let the dust settle. Drift on the quiet sea of time. Drift towards the next generation, towards two brothers, Atreus and Thyestes, and a dinner that will make Tantalus's feast look like a mercy. But that is a story for a little later. For now, just drift. Rest in the silence between the curses. The sea breeze that carried the curse of Myrtilus fades into the dark, heavy silence of the mainland. We move inland now, away from the cliffs, away from the crashing waves, towards the high stone walls of Mycenae. The Lion Gate stands watch, silent and imposing, guarding secrets that are too heavy for history to hold. We are entering the era of the brothers, Atreus and Thyestes, the sons of Pelops. They inherited the kingdom. They inherited the wealth. And most importantly, they inherited the poison in the bloodline. Tonight, we step into the great hall of the palace. It is not a place of light. The windows are narrow slits in the thick masonry, letting in only slivers of the pale moon. The primary light comes from the hearth in the center of the room, a massive pit of glowing coals that casts long, dancing shadows against the tapestries. The shadows seem to have a life of their own, twisting and writhing, like the smoke that curls up towards the blackened ceiling beams. The air here is thick. It does not circulate. It hangs heavy, saturated with a scent of roasted meat, spilled wine, and old, cold stone. It is a suffocating atmosphere, rich and oppressive, like a velvet cloak wrapped too tight around the throat. Atreus sits at the head of the table. Look at him. He is a king in every inch of his posture. He wears a tunic of deep crimson, dyed with the blood of sea snails, costing more than a peasant earns in a lifetime. On his head sits a golden circlet, pressing into his temples. His face is a mask of stone. His eyes are dark, reflecting the firelight, burning with a cold, calculated intelligence. He is smiling, but the smile does not reach his eyes. It is a painted expression, a facade of reconciliation stretched thin over a chasm of hatred. Opposite him sits Thyestes, his brother, his rival. Thyestes looks different. He looks weary, worn down by years of exile. He looks hungry not just for food, but for home, for forgiveness, for power. He leans forward, his eyes darting around the room, taking in the splendor that was once denied to him. He sees the golden goblets, the silver platters, the servants standing like statues in the shadows. He believes he has won. He believes the feud is over. He believes he is safe. Let us pause. and look at the object that started this specific chapter of ruin. In the treasury, hidden away in the dark, lies the golden lamb. Imagine it, a fleece made not of wool, but of spun gold. Each strand glitters with a supernatural light. It feels heavy, cold, and metallic to the touch. It was a sign of divine favor, a proof of the right to rule. Atreus claimed it. Thyestes stole it. And how did he steal it? Through seduction. Through Atreus's wife, Erope. Betrayal layered upon betrayal. A tangled knot of lust and power. But tonight is not about the theft. Tonight is about the repayment. Atreus lifts his hand. A signal. The servants move. They are silent, gliding across the stone floor like ghosts. They carry heavy platters covered with silver lids. The smell wafting from them is rich, savory, intoxicating. It smells of rosemary, of thyme, of garlic, and of meat cooked to perfection. It triggers a primal response in the stomach. Thyestes inhales deeply. He is starving for this acceptance. "Eat, brother," Atreus says. His voice is low, smooth, like oil pouring over gravel. "Let us put the past behind us. Let us share a meal as kin." Thyestes nods, tears of gratitude pricking his eyes. He reaches out. He lifts the silver lid. Steam rises, warm and enveloping. The meat is tender. It falls apart under his fork. He eats, chew, swallow, chew, swallow. The rhythm of consumption. He drinks the wine. Dark, heavy, sweet wine from the vineyards of the Peloponnese. It stains his lips purple. It dulls his senses. It lulls him into a false sense of security. The fire crackles in the hearth. Pop, hiss. A log settles, sending a shower of sparks up the chimney. Atreus watches. He does not eat. He only watches. His hands are gripping the arms of his throne so tightly that his knuckles are white. He is feeding his brother, but he is also feeding his own vengeance. Every bite Thyestes takes is a victory for Atreus. Every swallow is a tally mark on the slate of revenge. Let us slow down time. Let us freeze this moment. The candle flames flicker. The shadows stretch. The horror of this scene is not in the violence, but in the ignorance. Thyestes does not know. He thinks he is eating lamb. He thinks he is eating game. He is eating his own sons. Atreus has slaughtered them. He has butchered his nephews, little boys who used to play in these very halls, and he has cooked them. It is an act so monstrous that the sun itself is said to have turned away in the sky. The horses of the chariot of Helios reared back in terror, reversing their course, plunging the world into a sudden, unnatural twilight. But here, in the hall, there is only the firelight and the sound of eating. Clink. The fork hits the plate. Thyestes sighs, satisfied. He wipes his mouth with a linen napkin. He looks at his brother with a smile. "Thank you, Atreus. This was magnificent. But where are my sons? I was told they would be here to greet me." Atreus's smile widens. It becomes a rictus of triumph, a terrifying, skeletal grin. "They are here," Atreus whispers. "They are deep within you." He signals the servants again. They bring out a final platter, covered with a cloth. They place it in front of Thyestes. Atreus leans forward. "Uncover it." Thyestes hesitates. A cold drop of sweat rolls down his spine. The air in the room suddenly feels freezing. The fire seems to dim. He reaches out with a trembling hand. He pulls back the cloth, and there they are. The heads, the hands, the feet, arranged cruelly, preserved, staring up at him with dead, glassy eyes. The hands that used to hold his own, the feet that used to run to him. The scream that tears from Thyestes' throat is not a human sound. It is the sound of a soul ripping in half. "No! No! No!" He overturns the table. The golden goblets fly. The wine spills across the floor like fresh blood. The unholy meal scatters into the rushes. He falls to his knees, retching, clawing at his own throat, trying to tear the food out of his body, trying to undo the abomination. But it is too late. They are part of him now. He is a living tomb for his own children. Atreus laughs, a dry, hollow sound that echoes off the stone walls. He has won. He has served the ultimate dish of revenge. Thyestes crawls backward, scrambling away from the horror, away from his brother. He curses. He spews a curse so vile, so heavy, that it seems to crack the very flagstones of the palace. Let this house be broken. Let blood answer blood until the stones themselves crumble to dust. May you never know peace. May your children slaughter each other as you have slaughtered mine. He flees into the night, into the wilderness, into the dark, leaving Atreus alone in the flickering hall. Atreus sits back in his throne. He thinks he is the victor, but the curse has settled over him like a shroud. It has seeped into the tapestries. It has soaked into the wood of the table. It hangs in the air like the smell of burnt fat. The gods are silent, but they have seen, and they are preparing the next act. The cycle has turned. The wheel has crushed the innocent, and now it rolls toward the next generation, toward a son named Agamemnon and a daughter named Iphigenia. The feast is over, but the hunger of the curse is just beginning. Rest now in the silence of the aftermath. The hall is empty. The fire has died. There is only the cold ash and the heavy, breathing darkness of a house that has eaten itself. The heavy oak doors of the palace of Mycenae swing shut, sealing the horror inside. We drift away, carried by the winds of time, moving forward, yet standing still in the cycle of tragedy. The air changes. The smell of roasted meat and stale wine is replaced by the sharp, salty tang of the sea. We are at the coast. Aulis, a harbor filled with ships. 1,000 black ships, their hulls coated in pitch, bobbing listlessly on the water. Creak, splash, creak, splash. The sound of wood straining against rope. The sound of water lapping against the sides. But look at the sails. They hang limp, heavy, motionless. There is no wind, not a breath, not a whisper. The sea is a sheet of glass, reflecting the harsh, unforgiving sun. The heat is oppressive. It radiates off the water, shimmering in waves of distortion. It bakes the sand. It bleaches the wood. The army of Greece is waiting. Thousands of men in bronze armor, sweating, grumbling, staring at the horizon. They are waiting for a breeze, just a gust to fill the sails and take them to Troy, to war, to glory. But the goddess Artemis is angry. Agamemnon, son of Atreus, has offended her. He killed a sacred stag. He boasted. He forgot his place, and now she demands a payment, a toll for the wind, a life for a life, not a sheep, not a bull, but a daughter. Iphigenia. Agamemnon stands in his tent. He is a king, powerful, broad-shouldered, a beard like spun gold. But now he is small. He is trapped. He holds a letter in his hand, a lie. He has written to his wife, Clytemnestra, telling her to bring their daughter to Aulis. He told her it was for a wedding. That Iphigenia is to marry the great hero Achilles. A wedding, a celebration, but it is a funeral disguised in white silk. He paces the tent. The ground is covered in rugs, but he feels the hardness of the earth beneath. He wipes sweat from his brow. He could say no. He could disband the army. He could go home. But his ambition is a heavy chain around his neck. He cannot look weak before the other kings. He cannot let the fleet rot, so he chooses the crown over the child. Imagine the arrival, the chariot rolling into the camp, Clytemnestra, proud and regale, Iphigenia, young, glowing with innocence, dressed in her bridal finery. The saffron-colored robe, the wreath of flowers in her hair. She smiles at her father. She runs to hug him. "Father, I am here." Agamemnon holds her. He feels her warm, living body against his armor. He smells the scent of lavender in her hair, and he knows he is going to kill her. The betrayal is absolute. It is a cold knife in the heart of the family. The moment of revelation is quiet. The realization in Clytemnestra's eyes when she understands there is no wedding. The shift from joy to confusion, to horror, to a hatred so pure it could burn the world down. The procession to the altar, it is not a joyous march. It is a funeral dirge. The soldiers look down. They cannot meet the girl's eyes. Iphigenia stands by the stone altar. The sea is behind her, flat and indifferent. The sky is empty. The knife is raised. The bronze glints in the sun. Swish, the blow falls. Whether she dies, or whether Artemis spirits her away at the last second, leaving a deer in her place, it does not matter to the mother. To Clytemnestra, her daughter is dead. Her trust is dead. Her love is dead. And at that exact moment, the wind picks up. Whoosh, a sudden, strong gust. The sails snap full. The rigging groans. The sea begins to churn. The price has been paid. The fleet can sail. Agamemnon leaves. He sails to Troy. He sails to 10 years of war. But he leaves behind a wife who is no longer a wife. She is a statue of grief carved from ice. She stands on the shore, watching the ships disappear, and she begins to weave a net, not of thread, but of plans. A net to catch a king. 10 years pass. A decade of waiting. The palace of Mycenae grows cold. The shadows lengthen. Clytemnestra rules alone. Or not quite alone. Aegisthus is there, the cousin, the son of Thyestes, the enemy of Atreus. They are united by hate, and then the beacon fires are lit. Signal fires leaping from mountain peak to mountain peak, carrying the news across the sea. Troy has fallen. The king is coming home. Agamemnon returns. He rides a chariot filled with gold, bronze, and enslaved women. He brings Cassandra, the Trojan princess, as a trophy. He expects a hero's welcome. He expects a feast, and he gets one. Clytemnestra stands at the lion gate. She smiles, a smile that mirrors the one Atreus gave Thyestes years ago. "Welcome home, my husband," she says. Her voice is like honey laced with arsenic. She rolls out a carpet, a crimson carpet, purple tapestries, fit only for the gods. She invites him to walk on them, to commit one last act of hubris, to walk on sacred cloth with his muddy boots. He hesitates, then steps down. Crunch, soft, crunch. He walks into the palace, into the trap. "You must be tired," she says. "Come, prepare the bath." The bathhouse is warm. Steam rises from the copper tub, filling the air with a thick, moist fog. It smells of eucalyptus and rose oil. Agamemnon sheds his armor, the heavy bronze breastplate, the greaves, the sword. Clang, thud. He sheds his defense. He stands naked, vulnerable, an aging man with scars and tired muscles. He steps into the water. Splash. The heat soaks into his bones. He sighs. He closes his eyes. He leans his head back. He thinks he is safe. He thinks the war is over. But the war has just come home. Clytemnestra enters. She is not holding a towel. She is holding a net. A heavy, woven net, weighted with lead. She casts it. Swish. Thwump. It lands over him. It tangles his limbs. It blinds him. It holds him down. He struggles. Water splashes violently. Splash. Thrash. He tries to stand, but the net holds firm. He is a fish caught in the mesh. And then, the axe. A double-bladed axe. Heavy, sharp, She raises it high. The steam swirls around her like a shroud. She brings it down. Thud, and again. Thud, and again. The water turns red, dark, rich crimson. The struggle ceases. The splashing stops. There is only the sound of heavy breathing, the sound of water dripping from the axe blade. Drip, drip, drip. Clytemnestra stands over him. She does not weep. She feels a terrible, dark release. This is for Iphigenia. This is for the girl in the saffron robe. This is for 10 years of silence. Agamemnon, the king of kings, the conqueror of Troy, lies dead in his own bathtub. The curse of the House of Atreus has claimed another generation. Blood for blood, child for child. The bathwater cools slowly in the dim light. The palace is quiet again, but it is a watchful quiet, for in the shadows a boy is watching, or hearing, or knowing. Orestes, the son. He is young now, but he will grow. He will learn, and the Furies. The ancient spirits of vengeance, they are stirring in the deep places of the earth. They smell the fresh blood. They are hungry. The wheel continues to turn, slowly, inexorably, crushing everything in its path. Rest now. You are not in the bath. You are not in the net. You are warm. You are dry. The water is far away. The axe is buried. Let the steam fade. Let the red turn to gray. Drift away from the palace of Mycenae. Drift towards the next chapter of the night, where justice will try to find a foothold on the slippery slope of revenge. The steam from Agamemnon's bath has long since dissipated, vanishing into the cold air of the Argolid plain. The blood has been scrubbed from the flagstones of the palace, though the stain remains in the memory of the stone itself. We leave the net and the axe behind. We move forward in time, but we stay in the shadow of the curse. Years have passed. A heavy, gray blanket of time has fallen over the House of Atreus. In the palace of Mycenae, Queen Clytemnestra rules alongside her lover, Aegisthus. But it is an uneasy rule. The crown sits heavy on her head. She sleeps with one eye open. She listens to the wind howling through the lion gate, and in every gust, she hears the name of her son, Orestes, the boy who was sent away, the boy who has grown into a man in the bitter soil of exile. Far away, in the land of Phocis, Orestes stands. He is no longer a child. He is a weapon, forged by grief and honed by the oracle of Apollo. The god of light has given him a command, a directive that is as terrible as it is clear. Avenge your father. Kill your mother. It is a command that violates the deepest laws of nature. But in this family, nature has long been broken. Imagine the journey home. Orestes walks. He does not ride a chariot. He walks. Step, crunch. Step, crunch. His boots are covered in the dust of the road. It is a dry, gray dust that coats his skin, making him look like a ghost before he has even arrived. He is accompanied by his friend, Pylades. They do not speak. There are no words for what they are about to do. They reach the walls of Mycenae at dusk. The sun is setting, painting the stones in the color of bruised plums. They disguise themselves as travelers, merchants from a far-off land bearing news. They knock on the gate. Boom, boom, boom. The sound echoes into the hollow belly of the palace. A servant opens the door. Orestes lowers his head. He lies. He tells them that Orestes is dead, that the son of Agamemnon has perished in a chariot accident. It is a cruel lie, a necessary lie. He is led into the throne room. Clytemnestra is there. She looks older now. Her face is lined with the stress of ruling a stolen kingdom. When she hears the news that her son is dead, her face crumbles. Is it grief or is it relief? Perhaps it is both. A mother mourns her child, but a usurper mourns her assassin. She invites the strangers in. She offers them hospitality. She unknowingly welcomes her own death into the guest room. Night falls. The palace goes quiet. The silence of Mycenae is heavy. It presses against your ears. It is the silence of a held breath. Orestes sits in the dark. He holds his sword. Feel the metal. It is bronze, cold, hard. It has a smell, that sharp metallic tang of old iron and oil. His hand is shaking. Tremble, tremble. Just a slight vibration. He is terrified. He is about to commit the ultimate sin, to punish the ultimate sin. It is a paradox that tears his soul apart. He stands up. He walks through the corridors. He knows the way. He grew up here. He passes the spot where he played as a child. He passes the room where his father was murdered. He finds Aegisthus first, the usurper. We will not linger on this death. It is swift. It is just. A sword in the dark. A gasp. A fall. But then, he must face the queen. He enters her chamber. Clytemnestra wakes. She sees him standing there, the sword dripping in the moonlight. She knows. The mask falls away. The lie is over. She does not beg for her life. She is a daughter of Leda, a sister of Helen. She has dignity. She bares her breast. Strike, my son, she whispers. Strike the breast that fed you. It is a psychological blow harder than any weapon. Orestes freezes. The sword wavers. How can he do it? How can he cut the cord that gave him life? He looks at Pylades, his friend, who stands in the shadows. What should I do? Orestes asks. Should I spare my mother? Pylades speaks for the first and only time. He is the voice of the god. What of the oracles of Apollo? Better to make all men your enemies than the gods. The resolve hardens. The stone heart of the House of Atreus takes over. Orestes steps forward. He closes his eyes. He strikes. Thud. The deed is done. The queen falls. The blood of the mother stains the floor, mixing with the dust of the son's boots. The curse has completed a full rotation. Husband killed by wife. Wife killed by son. And then the silence breaks. It does not break with a scream. It breaks with a sound much worse. Hiss, slither, whisper. Orestes drops the sword. It clatters loudly on the stone. He looks at the corners of the room. The shadows are moving. They are thickening. They are coalescing into shapes. The Furies, the Erinyes, they are older than Zeus. They are older than the sun. They are the daughters of the primordial night. They are not women. They are nightmares given form. Look at them. Their skin is black as coal. Their eyes drip with a vile, acidic pus. And their hair. Focus on their hair. It is a nest of vipers. Hiss, tongue, hiss, snakes coiling and uncoiling, tasting the air, smelling the matricide. They do not attack him physically. They do not bite. They attack his mind. They begin to shriek, a high, piercing sound that only he can hear. Murderer, matricide, monster. It is the sound of guilt, amplified 1,000 times. Orestes falls to his knees. He covers his ears, but the sound is inside his head. He runs. He flees the palace. He flees the city. He runs into the wilderness, but the Furies follow. They are relentless. They are the hounds of hell. They do not sleep. They do not eat. They only hunt. Imagine the exhaustion. Running for days. Running for weeks. Over mountains. Through forests. Across rivers. Every time he closes his eyes to sleep, he sees the snakes. Every time he tries to drink, he sees the blood in the water. He is a man being eaten alive from the inside out. His clothes turn to rags. His feet bleed. His mind fractures. He is driven mad by the weight of his own actions. He reaches Delphi, the sanctuary of Apollo. He collapses on the temple floor. He hugs the Omphalos stone, the center of the world. Help me, he rasps. You told me to do it. Save me. Apollo appears, the god of light. He shines with a golden radiance that pushes back the dark shapes of the Furies. He puts the Furies to sleep for a moment. A brief respite. Go to Athens, Apollo says. Go to the city of Athena. There, you will find justice. Orestes stands up. He is a husk of a man, but he has a destination. He walks to Athens. He climbs the Acropolis. He embraces the statue of Athena. The Furies wake up. They find him. They surround the statue, howling for blood. He is ours. Blood for blood. Athena descends. She is cool. She is calm. She is the intellect. She looks at the Furies. She looks at Orestes. We will not fight with swords, she says. We will fight with words. We will have a trial. This is the moment history changes. The cycle of vengeance is paused for the invention of justice. Imagine the hill of the Areopagus, the rock of Ares. It is night. The sky is clear, filled with indifferent stars. 12 citizens of Athens sit on stone benches. They are the jury. Orestes stands on one side, pale and trembling. The Furies stand on the other, dark and writhing. Apollo stands as the defense attorney. The arguments are made. The Furies argue for the old laws. You kill your blood, you must be punished. Apollo argues for the new laws. He avenged a king. He obeyed a god. It is a clash of eras, the primal past versus the rational future. The jury votes. They hold pebbles in their hands. A white pebble for innocence, a black pebble for guilt. They walk to the urn. Clink, clink, clink. The sound of stones dropping into the bronze jar. It is the sound of fate being decided. They count the votes. 6 white, 6 black. A tie. In a tie, the Furies win. The accused dies. The Furies grin, their snake hair writhing in anticipation. But Athena has the final vote, the casting vote. She steps forward. She holds a white pebble. She drops it into the urn. Clink. Acquitted. Orestes collapses. The weight of the curse, which has crushed his grandfather, his father, and his mother, finally lifts from his shoulders. He is free. But the Furies? They are enraged. They threaten to poison the land of Athens. Athena speaks to them, softly, gently. Do not be angry, she says. You are not defeated. You are transformed. She offers them a new home, a cave beneath the hill. She offers them worship. She offers them a new name, the Eumenides, the kindly ones. Instead of vengeance, they will guard justice. Instead of hunting, they will protect. The dark spirits accept. They fade into the earth, their hissing turning into a gentle hum. The air in Athens clears. The oppressive weight vanishes. Orestes stands up. He looks at the moon. For the first time in generations, a member of the House of Atreus is alive, free, and sane. The chain is broken, not by violence, but by a pebble, by a choice. Rest in that thought. The idea that even the oldest, darkest curses can be unraveled by a moment of reason. The Furies are sleeping beneath the earth now. They will not hunt you tonight. You are safe in the city of Athena. Let the trial fade. Let the voices stop. Drift into the quiet silence of a verdict delivered. Peace. The white marble of Athens fades into the mist. The sound of the gavel and the voting stones dissolves. We leave the world of men and laws behind. We travel back, further back, to a time before trials, before juries, before the logic of Athena tamed the world. We travel to the age of monsters and magic. We travel to the city of Thebes. But Thebes does not exist yet. There is only a field, a green, lush plain in the region of Boeotia. There are wild cows grazing. There are springs bubbling up from the earth. And there is a young man, Cadmus. He is a prince of Phoenicia, wandering the world looking for his lost sister, Europa. He has walked until the soles of his sandals are thin as paper. He is tired. He consults the oracle. The oracle tells him, "Stop looking for your sister. Find a cow with a half-moon marking on its flank. Follow it. Where it lies down, build a city." It sounds like a dream logic, but in the ancient world, dream logic is the only logic. Cadmus finds the cow. He follows it. Plod, plod, plod. The slow, rhythmic gait of the animal. He walks for miles. The sun beats down on his neck. The flies buzz. Finally, the cow stops. It buckles its knees. It lies down in the tall grass. Huff. Cadmus looks around. This is the place, the future site of Thebes. But to build a city, he needs water. He sends his men to a nearby spring. He waits. They do not come back. The silence stretches. The sun begins to dip. The shadows of the cypress trees grow long and sharp. Cadmus feels a cold prickle on his neck. He picks up a rock. He picks up his spear. He walks to the spring. The spring is in a cave. The air is cool and damp. It smells of wet moss and copper, the smell of fresh blood. Cadmus steps inside, and he sees it, the guardian. It is a serpent, but to call it a serpent is to call a hurricane a breeze. It is a dragon, sacred to Ares, the god of war. Its scales are emerald green and gold, shimmering in the gloom like wet jewels. Its eyes are fire. Its crest is crimson. It is coiled around the bodies of his men. It is feasting. Crunch. Snap. The sound of bones breaking. Cadmus freezes. He is alone. He is mortal. This creature is divine and monstrous, but he has no choice. He is a hero in the making. He lifts a massive rock. He throws it. Thud. It hits the dragon's skull. The beast roars, a sound like tectonic plates grinding together. It lunges. Cadmus drives his spear. It is a desperate, messy fight. There is no choreography here, just a man fighting a nightmare in the mud. The spear finds a gap in the scales. It pierces the neck. The dragon thrashes. Its tail whips, shattering the stalactites of the cave. And then it dies. A slow, heaving exhale that smells of sulfur and old meat. The dragon lies still. Cadmus stands there, covered in slime and sweat, panting. He has the water. He has the land. But he has no men. He is a king with no subjects. How can he build a city alone? Then a voice, a whisper in his ear. Athena, she is always watching. Sow the teeth, she whispers. The teeth of the dragon. Plant them like seeds. It is a bizarre command, but Cadmus obeys. He pries the jaws of the dead dragon open. He extracts the teeth. They are long, white, and sharp as daggers. They feel cold and heavy, like ivory. He walks out into the field. The soil is soft, rich, dark earth. He digs a furrow. He drops the teeth in, one by one. Plump, plump, plump. He covers them with dirt. He steps back. He waits. What will grow? A tree of bone? A flower of poison? The earth begins to tremble, rumble, a low vibration. The soil cracks. But it is not a plant that emerges. It is the tip of a bronze spear. Then a helmet, a crest of horsehair. Then a face, grim, hard, eyes open and staring, shoulders, armored chests, arms holding shields. Men are growing out of the ground. The Spartoi, the sown men. They pull themselves out of the dirt, shaking the soil from their armor like newborn insects shedding a cocoon. They are fully grown, fully armed, and fully angry. They are born with the violence of the dragon in their blood. There are dozens of them, an army born from the mud. Cadmus is terrified. He cannot fight them all. He throws a stone into their midst. It hits one of the warriors. The warrior turns to his neighbor. "Why did you strike me?" "I did not." "You lie." Clash. They begin to fight each other. They do not know who they are. They only know war. It is a massacre, a harvest of death. They hack and slash at each other until only 5 remain. 5 exhausted, bleeding men, standing in the churned-up field. These 5, they drop their swords. They look at Cadmus. They bow. They are the ancestors of the nobility of Thebes. The city is founded on dragon blood and fratricide. It is a cursed beginning, a foundation laid on violence. Is it any wonder the city was doomed? Time accelerates. Whir. The walls of Thebes rise. 7 gates, 7 towers. Generations pass. The dragon's blood thins, but the curse remains. We move down the family tree, past Cadmus, past Polydorus, past Labdacus, to a king named Laius. Laius is a man who knows he is cursed. The oracle has told him, do not have a child. If you have a son, he will kill you and marry his mother. It is a terrifying prophecy. Laius tries to avoid it. He abstains. But one night, one drunken night, he forgets, or he gives in. His wife, Jocasta, conceives. A son is born, a beautiful, healthy baby boy. But Laius looks at the infant and sees his own death. He cannot bring himself to kill the baby with his own hands. That is too cruel. So he does something equally cruel. He pierces the baby's ankles. He binds them together with a pin. Click. The baby cries. A sharp, thin wail in the palace. Laius gives the child to a shepherd. Take him to the mountain, he orders. Leave him to the wolves. Leave him to the cold. Mount Cithaeron, a wild, lonely place. The shepherd takes the bundle. He climbs the mountain. But the shepherd, he has a heart. He looks at the injured feet, the swollen foot. Oedipus. He cannot do it. He meets another shepherd from a neighboring city, Corinth. Take him, he whispers. Take him far away. Raise him as your own. And so, the baby is saved. Or is he? Is it mercy to save a child for a destiny of horror? The baby goes to Corinth. He grows up a prince, loved, spoiled, happy. He does not know his name is Oedipus. He does not know he is a Theban. He thinks he is safe. Years later, Oedipus is a young man, strong, proud, intelligent, but a rumor reaches him. You are not your father's son. He goes to the oracle at Delphi, the same oracle that doomed his father. Who am I? He asks. The oracle sits on her tripod, shrouded in smoke. Her voice is the voice of the earth. You will kill your father. You will marry your mother. Oedipus is horrified. He loves the king and queen of Corinth. He thinks they are his parents. He decides to run away, to save them. He leaves Corinth. He chooses a road. He chooses the road to Thebes. He thinks he is running away from his fate. In reality, he is sprinting towards it. Fate is not a thing you can outrun. It is the road itself. Imagine the crossroads, a dusty, narrow track where 3 roads meet. It is high noon. The sun is blazing. The cicadas are screaming in the olive trees. Zzz. The heat is shimmering off the stones. Oedipus is walking. He is angry. He is scared. He is hot. A chariot approaches from the other direction. It is driven by an old man, arrogant, impatient. Move! The old man shouts. Get out of the way of the king! Oedipus does not move. He is a prince, he thinks. He does not bow to rude strangers. The chariot driver strikes him with a whip. Snap! The pain flares. The temper of the dragon's teeth, the heritage of Thebes, flares in Oedipus's blood, even though he doesn't know it. He draws his sword. It is a senseless fight, a moment of road rage in the ancient world. Oedipus is younger, stronger. He kills the driver. He kills the guards. He kills the old man. He stands over the body. The old man's face looks strangely familiar, but Oedipus does not recognize him. It is Laius, his father. The first half of the prophecy is complete. The blood seeps into the dry dust of the crossroads. Drip, drip, drip. The silence of the afternoon returns. Oedipus wipes his blade. He breathes heavily. He feels justified. It was self-defense, he tells himself. He turns and continues walking towards Thebes, towards the Sphinx, towards the queen who is waiting for a husband, towards the mother who is waiting for a son. He walks into the trap with his eyes wide open, yet seeing nothing. The sun beats down, indifferent. The fates spin their thread, and the tragedy of the House of Thebes tightens its knot. Rest here. At the crossroads, the danger is past for the moment. The violence is over. There is only the dust and the heat and the long, winding road of destiny. You are not walking it. You are watching it from the shade. You are safe. The road leads to ruin, but you are leading to sleep. Let the image of the dusty road fade. Let the sun set. Let the cool darkness wash over the crossroads. Drift, sink, sleep. The dust of the crossroads has settled. The blood of the old King Laius has dried and turned to powder, blown away by the indifferent winds of Boeotia. The wheel of time turns, heavy and slow, grinding the years into memory. We move forward. We enter the city of Thebes, but it is not the city of glory. It is the city of the plague. The sun hangs in the sky like a white-hot coin, burning a hole in the blue canopy. It does not move. It stares down at the city with an unblinking, feverish gaze. The air is thick. It has a texture. It feels like breathing through wool. It smells of stagnation, of rotting fruit in the orchards, of dry riverbeds where the mud has cracked into jigsaw puzzles of parched earth. There is no sound of children playing, no sound of chariots, only the sound of the flies. Bzzz, a low, constant, vibrating drone. It is the soundtrack of decay, and the sound of the crows. Caw, caw, waiting on the rooftops, waiting for the city to die. In the heart of the palace, King Oedipus sits on his throne. He is a man of intellect. He is the man who solved the riddle of the Sphinx. He believes in logic. He believes in answers. He sits on the stone chair, his hands gripping the armrests. His knuckles are white. He feels the heat pressing against the stone walls of the palace. He has sent for the oracle. He has sent for the truth. Why is the city dying? He asks the silence. Because of the pollution, the silence answers. Because the murderer of the old king lives among you. And so, the investigation begins. It is a slow, agonizing, peeling back of layers, like removing bandages from an old wound, only to find it has not healed. The shepherd arrives. The old man who saved the baby on the mountain all those years ago. He enters the throne room. The light is dim. The dust motes dance in the shafts of sunlight. The shepherd trembles. He knows. He has carried the secret for decades, a heavy stone in his heart. Oedipus questions him. The questions are sharp, precise, relentless, and the answers are quiet. The child came from the house of Laius. The child was given to me to kill. I gave the child to the king of Corinth. Oedipus listens, and in the silence between the words, the world fractures. Imagine the realization. It is not a sudden explosion. It is a slow freezing. A coldness starts in his toes. It creeps up his legs. It fills his stomach. It seizes his heart. He looks at his hands. The hands that killed the man at the crossroads. He looks at his feet, the scarred ankles, the swollen foot. He looks at the throne he sits on. It belonged to his father. He looks at the bed he sleeps in. It belonged to his father. And the woman, Jocasta, she stands by the pillar. She realized the truth moments before he did. She looks at him. her husband, her son. The horror is too vast to be screamed. It is a void, a black hole that swallows all light and all sound. She turns. Her robes rustle softly against the stone floor. Swish, swish. She walks away. She does not run. She walks with the heavy, final steps of a woman walking towards her end. She enters the bedchamber. The door closes. Click. The sound of the bolt sliding home is the loudest sound in the world. Oedipus is alone in the throne room. The truth is now a physical weight on his shoulders. The crown feels like it is made of lead. He stands up. He walks to the doors of the bedchamber. Jocasta, silence. He pushes against the doors. Locked. He throws his weight against them. Thud. The wood groans. Thud. The hinges give way. He bursts into the room. The air inside is still. It smells of her perfume, lavender and rose oil. And there she is. She has tied a cord to the high rafters. She hangs there, swaying gently. Creak, creak, like a pendulum marking the end of time. She is gone. The mother who loved him, the wife who loved him. The tragedy is complete. Oedipus walks to her. He does not weep. Tears are for sadness. This is not sadness. This is ruin. He gently lowers her body to the floor. He arranges her robes. He sees the gold brooches fastened at her shoulders. Long, golden pins, sharp as daggers. He reaches out. His fingers touch the cold metal. He unfastens one. He holds it up to the dim light. The point glitters. He looks at the world around him. He sees the tapestries. He sees the bed. He sees the sunlight streaming through the window. He hates the light. The light allowed him to see, but not to know. The light deceived him. He does not deserve the sun anymore. He wants the darkness. He wants the peace of the void. He grips the pin tightly. He tilts his head back. He opens his eyes wide, staring at the ceiling, staring at nothing. And he strikes. Schlick. He drives the long gold pin into his left eye. The pain is a flash of white lightning, a universe of agony exploding in his skull. But he does not stop. He pulls it out. Schlick. He drives it into his right eye. The world vanishes. The sun goes out. The room goes out. The face of his dead mother goes out. Blackness. Absolute. Total. Eternal. Red streams of blood run down his face, staining his beard. He falls to his knees. He screams. Ah, ah, ah. It is a primal sound. A sound that tears the throat, but it is also a release. The tension of the prophecy is broken. The worst has happened. There is nothing left to fear. He is blind. He is outcast. He is free. Let the scene fade. Let the darkness of the king's eyes become the darkness of the screen. We move forward in time. The blind king has wandered into exile. He has died in a foreign land, swallowed by the earth that forgave him. But the curse remains in Thebes. It falls upon his children, specifically his daughter, Antigone, the girl who led the blind man, the girl who was his eyes. Now, she stands alone. Her brothers are dead. They killed each other in a civil war for the throne. Polynices, the rebel brother, lies on the battlefield. Creon, the new king, the uncle, has issued a decree. Leave him unburied. Let the dogs eat him. Let the birds tear him apart. Anyone who touches him dies. But Antigone is made of stronger stuff than laws. She is made of the same stone as the palace walls. She buries her brother, a handful of dust, a prayer, a defying of the sun. She is caught. She stands before the king. She does not apologize. She does not beg. I was born to join in love, not hate, she says. Creon sentences her, not to the sword. That is too quick. Not to the hanging. That is too public. He sentences her to the tomb. buried alive, sealed in a cave of rock, left to the silence. Imagine the procession walking out of the city gates. The sun is setting, painting the sky in blood red. The guards surround her. They do not look at her. They are afraid of her holy defiance. They reach the hills outside Thebes. There is a cave, a natural hollow in the limestone cliff. The mouth of the cave is dark, like a yawning mouth. Antigone steps inside. The air changes instantly. Outside, it was warm, filled with the noise of insects and wind. Inside, it is cool, still, dead quiet. It smells of dry earth and ancient stone. She walks to the back of the cave. She turns around. She watches the masons at work. They are building a wall across the entrance. Block by block, clink, scrape, thud, clink, scrape, thud. The rectangle of light, the view of the world, begins to shrink. The blue sky becomes a smaller window, then a slit. She sees a single bird fly past, a swallow, darting in the twilight. It is the last living thing she will ever see. The last stone is lifted. It fits into the gap. Thud. Darkness. Total, absolute darkness. The sound of the trowel scraping the mortar is the last sound of the outside world. Then, footsteps walking away. Then, silence. Antigone is alone. She stands in the center of her stone womb. She can feel the weight of the mountain above her. Millions of tons of rock pressing down. It is crushing, but it is also protecting. No king can reach her here. No war can reach her here. No curse can touch her here. She sits down on the dusty floor. She wraps her veil around her shoulders. She listens to her own breathing. Inhale, exhale. It sounds loud in the enclosed space. She listens to her heart. Dub, dub, dub. A slow, steady drum in the dark. She feels the cold of the stone seeping into her legs. It is a numbing cold, a gentle anesthetic. She does not panic. Panic is for the living. She has already crossed the threshold. She thinks of her father, Oedipus. He is waiting for her in the dark. She thinks of her mother, Jocasta. She is waiting too. She thinks of her brothers. They are all together now. The family reunion in the halls of Hades. She feels a strange sense of peace. The struggle is over. The duty is done. She lies down on the stone floor. It is hard, but it is stable. It does not shake. It does not change. She closes her eyes. There is no difference between her eyes open and her eyes closed. The darkness is the same. It is a velvet blanket, a soft, black ocean. She lets herself drift on it. Hunger will come later. Thirst will come later. But for now, there is only the sleep. The deep, dreamless sleep of the earth. The sleep of the seed in winter. The sleep of the fossil in the rock. Imagine you are there with her, not as a prisoner, but as a shadow. Feel the absolute stillness. There is no sensory input, no light, no sound, no smell. Your mind has nothing to process. It begins to slow down. The thoughts that usually race around your head, the worries, the plans, the lists, they have no place here. They dissolve in the dark. You are just a point of consciousness in a sea of stone. You are heavy, heavier than the rock, sinking through the floor, sinking into the deep crust of the earth. You are safe here. The walls are thick. Nothing can hurt you. The silence wraps around you like a cocoon. Breathe in the darkness. Breathe out the light. Breathe in the silence. Breathe out the noise. The curse of Thebes ends here. It stops at the wall of the tomb. Inside, there is only peace. Antigone sleeps. The blind king sleeps. And you sleep. Drift in the stone. Float in the void. The story is paused. The world is paused. There is only this quiet, heavy, eternal now. Rest, deeply, completely. The bear sleeping in the cave fades into the winter mist. The spider weaving in the corner dissolves into the shadows. We leave the transformations of the body behind and enter a different kind of transformation. The transformation of the heart. We are entering the realm of cursed love. Love, in Greek mythology, is not a soft thing. It is not pink and sweet. It is a force of nature. It is a storm that wrecks ships. It is a fever that burns cities. It is a poison that tastes like honey until you swallow it. We begin in the forests of Thrace. The trees here are old, oaks and pines with bark as thick as armor. The air is cool, smelling of pine needles and damp earth. It is quiet, too quiet. A man is sitting on a mossy stone. Orpheus. He holds a lyre. Look at the instrument. It is made from the shell of a tortoise. The shell is smooth, mottled with amber and black. The arms are made of antelope horns, curving elegantly upwards. The strings are made of gut, pulled tight. He plucks a string. The note hangs in the air. It is a sad note, a blue note. It vibrates through the forest. The leaves stop rustling to listen. The wind holds its breath. Orpheus is mourning. His wife, Eurydice, is dead. She was bitten by a viper, a small, slithering death in the tall grass. Hiss, bite, cold. The poison stopped her heart. Now she is gone. She is in the underworld. But Orpheus does not accept the silence. He stands up. He adjusts his cloak. He is going to do the impossible. He is going to walk into death. Imagine the descent. He finds a cave, the mouth of Tainaron. It is a throat of stone swallowing the light. He steps inside. The temperature drops. 10 degrees, 20 degrees. The air becomes stale. It tastes of dust and iron. He walks down. Step, step, step. The path is steep. Loose stones clatter down into the abyss. Clatter, click, echo. He walks for hours, or maybe days. Time does not exist here. He reaches the river. The Styx. The water is black, oily. It does not reflect the light because there is no light. It flows silently, a heavy, sluggish current of forgotten memories. Charon, the ferryman, is there. He is a skeleton wrapped in rags. He holds a pole. He does not take living passengers. But Orpheus plays. He strums the lyre. Pluck, strum, ripple. The music is a key. It unlocks the pity in the withered heart of the ferryman. Charon nods. Orpheus steps onto the boat. The wood creaks. Creak. The boat glides across the black water. There is no sound of splashing, only the gentle hiss of the prow cutting through the oil. Hisses. They reach the other side. The gray plains. The asphodel meadows. Imagine a field of endless gray flowers, pale, ghostly stalks that have no scent. Millions of souls are wandering here. They whisper, 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 like dry leaves blowing over pavement. Orpheus walks through them. He does not look at their faces. He is looking for the king. He enters the palace of Hades. It is made of obsidian, black, shiny, volcanic glass. Hades sits on his throne. Beside him is Persephone. They are terrifying. They are the finality of existence. Orpheus stands before them. He is small. He is warm. He is alive. He plays. He sings. He sings of the sunlight on the Thracian hills. He sings of the taste of ripe strawberries. He sings of the way Eurydice's hair smelled like rain. He weaves a tapestry of sound that wraps around the cold hearts of the gods. Tears fall from Persephone's eyes. Drip, drip. Even Hades, the stone-faced king, softens. Go, Hades says. His voice is the sound of a closing door. Take her. She follows you. But listen to me, mortal. Do not look back. If you look back before the sunlight touches her face, she is gone forever. Do not look back. A simple command, a test of faith. Orpheus turns. He walks away from the throne. He walks back through the gray fields, back to the river, back to the cave. He listens. Can he hear her footsteps? Step, step. He hears his own sandals on the stone, but behind him, silence. Is she there? Is she a ghost? Do ghosts make sound? The doubt begins to grow. It is a seed of ice in his stomach. What if Hades lied? What if I am walking alone? What if she is lost? He climbs. The path is steep. His legs burn. His lungs heave. Up, up, up. The air gets warmer. The smell of the upper world, pine, sea salt. Life drifts down. He sees the light, a gray rectangle of dawn ahead. He is almost there. He steps out. The sun hits his face. It is blinding, glorious, warm. He laughs. He has done it. He has cheated death. He turns around to share the moment, to see her face. Eurydice. He turns. He looks. She is there, standing in the shadow of the cave mouth. She is beautiful, pale, but beautiful. But the light has not touched her yet. He turned too soon, 1 second too soon. Her eyes widen. Sadness, infinite sadness. She reaches out a hand, Orpheus, but the wind catches her. The suction of the underworld pulls her back. Whoosh. It is not a scream. It is a sigh. She dissolves. She turns into mist. She turns into shadow. She is pulled backwards down the throat of the cave, back into the dark. He grabs at the air. His fingers close on empty space. She is gone. This time, forever. He stands there. The sun is warm on his back, but he is freezing. The silence of the forest returns. The birds start singing again, indifferent to his ruin. He has lost her twice, once to the snake, and once to his own doubt. He sits down on the stone. He does not play. The lyre sits beside him, its strings silent. The silence of Orpheus is the heaviest silence in the world. It is the silence of a heart that has stopped beating, even though the body lives on. Rest in that silence for a moment. The lesson of the dark. Trust is the hardest bridge to build. The forest of Thrace fades. The gray mist of the underworld evaporates. The air warms up again. It becomes salty, humid. We are by the sea. Truzen, a coastal city. The waves crash against the shore. Crash, hiss, crash, hiss. The rhythm of the ocean. Relentless, passionate, destructive. We are entering the story of Phaedra, the queen who loved too much, the queen who burned. Imagine the palace of Trozen. Open colonnades looking out over the blue Aegean. Phaedra sits on a couch, draped in purple silk. She is sick, but not with a virus, not with a fever of the body. She is sick with Aphrodite. The goddess of love has cursed her. She has infected Phaedra's blood with an obsession for Hippolytus, her stepson. It is a forbidden love, a taboo, but she cannot stop it. It is a fire in her veins. Feel the heat. Her skin is hot to the touch. Her breath comes in shallow gasps. She watches him from the window. Hippolytus. He is young, strong. He hates love. He worships Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. He spends his days in the woods, running with his dogs, pure and cold as winter. He does not see Phaedra. He does not care. And that indifference makes the fire burn hotter. Phaedra stops eating. She stops sleeping. She lies on her bed, staring at the ceiling. The silence of her room is filled with the screaming of her own desire. Want, need, shame. Want, need, shame. It is a torturous cycle. Finally, she breaks. She tells her nurse. The nurse tells Hippolytus, Hippolytus reacts with disgust. He shouts. He curses women. He storms away to the stables. Phaedra hears him. The shame turns to ice. The love turns to poison. If I cannot have him, the dark voice whispers, then I will destroy him. I will save my honor. She sits at her desk. She takes a stylus. She takes a wax tablet. Scritch, scratch, scritch. The sound of the stylus carving into the wax. She writes a lie. A terrible, fatal lie. Hippolytus attacked me. She leaves the tablet on the table. She stands up. She takes a rope. She ties it to the beam of the ceiling. She steps off the stool. Thud. The silence of the room returns. The tablet sits there, a ticking bomb waiting for the king. Theseus, the king, returns. He finds his wife dead. He reads the lie. His grief turns to rage. A red, blinding rage. He does not ask questions. He does not seek the truth. He calls upon Poseidon, the god of the sea. Curse my son, he screams at the waves. Kill him. Poseidon hears. Hippolytus is driving his chariot along the beach. He is leaving the city. He is angry. He is driving fast. The horses are galloping. Thud, 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 thud. Sand flies. The wind whips his hair. And then the sea erupts. Roar. A massive wave rises up. A wall of green water. And from the wave, a bull from the sea, a monster of white foam and muscle. It bellows. The horses panic. They rear up. They are terrified. They turn. They crash. The chariot shatters. Crack. Splinter. Snap. Hippolytus is thrown. He is tangled in the reins. The horses drag him. Across the rocks. Across the sand. Drag. Scrape. Drag. Scrape. It is a brutal, messy end. The beautiful body is broken. The pure life is ended by dirt and blood. Artemis appears too late to save him, but in time to tell the truth. Theseus stands over the dying body of his son. He realizes his mistake. The silence on the beach is the silence of absolute regret. The waves wash over the blood in the sand. Wash, rinse, wash, rinse. The sea takes it all away. The anger, the lie, the life. Phaedra is dead. Hippolytus is dead. Theseus is broken. Love, when twisted by the gods, is not a gift. It is a weapon. Rest here on the beach for a moment. Listen to the waves. They are rhythmic. They are soothing. They tell you that emotions are like tides. They rise. They fall. They crash. But the ocean remains. Let the tragedy wash over you and recede. You are safe on the high ground. The beach fades. The sound of the sea dims. We move east, far east, to the land of Colchis, the edge of the world. We enter the story of Medea, the sorceress, the granddaughter of the Sunday. She is not a victim like Phaedra. She is not a mourner like Orpheus. She is a force. She fell in love with Jason, the hero with the golden fleece. She gave up everything for him. She betrayed her father. She killed her brother. She left her home. She used her magic to save him, time and time again. She made him a hero. And how did he repay her? He left her for a younger princess, for political power. I am marrying the daughter of the king of Corinth, he told her. It is for the best. Medea sat in her house. She did not weep. She went quiet, a dangerous, simmering quiet, like a volcano before it erupts. She looked at her hands, hands that knew the secrets of herbs and poisons. He thinks he can discard me, she whispered. He thinks I am just a stepping stone. She began to work. She took a dress, a beautiful, golden robe, silk and embroidery. She took a coronet, a crown of gold leaves, and she took her poisons. wolfsbane, hemlock, the venom of the hydra, fire salts. She imbued the fabric with the poison. She rubbed the gold with death. She packed them in a box. A gift, she said, for the new bride. Jason took the gift. He was foolish. He thought she had accepted her fate. Imagine the palace of Corinth. The young princess receives the gift. She is delighted. She puts on the dress. She puts on the crown. She looks in the mirror. She smiles. But then, the heat begins. It starts as a prickle, then an itch, then a burn. The dress clings to her skin. It tightens. The poison reacts with her body heat. It ignites, not with a flame you can see, but with a chemical fire that eats the flesh. She screams. Ah! She tries to tear the dress off, but it is fused to her skin. It peels away the flesh with the fabric. Her father, the king, runs to help her. He hugs her, but the poison is sticky. It catches him, too. They burn together, a tangle of royal agony. The palace fills with smoke, the smell of burning. Medea watches from afar. She does not smile. Her face is a mask of tragedy. But she is not done. She has to hurt Jason more. She has to break him completely. She looks at her children. 2 boys, Jason's sons. She loves them. But she hates Jason more. To kill them is to kill Jason's future, to kill his legacy, to leave him with nothing. It is the ultimate act of the cursed family. To eat your own young to spite the enemy. She enters the nursery. We will not watch this. It is too dark, even for us. We stand outside the door. We hear the silence fall. The end of the line. Jason arrives. He's frantic. He pounds on the door. Medea, open up. The door opens. But Medea is not on the ground. She is in the sky. A chariot has descended. A chariot drawn by dragons. Serpents with wings. Their scales glittering green and gold in the sunlight. She stands in the chariot. The bodies of the children are with her. She looks down at Jason. He is on his knees in the dust, broken, weeping, destroyed. You did this, she says. Her voice is cold wind. You broke the oaths. You woke the dragon. She flies away, towards Athens, towards the sun, leaving Jason alone in the ruins of his life. He sits there, the hero of the Argo, the man who had everything. Now he has nothing. He sits in the shadow of his rotting ship, the Argo, beached on the sand. Years pass. He grows old. He grows bitter. One day, he sits under the prow of the ship. Creak. The wood is old. It is tired. Snap. A beam falls. Thud. It hits him on the head. Jason dies. Not in battle, not in glory, but by a piece of falling wood. A mundane, quiet end to a cursed life. The dragon chariot disappears into the clouds. The smoke clears from Corinth. The silence returns. The silence of the dead children. The silence of the dead princess. The silence of the dead hero. It is a heavy, final silence. It weighs down on your eyelids. It presses you into the mattress. These stories, they are heavy. They are full of pain, but they are over. They happened long ago, or they never happened at all. They are just shadows on a wall, mist in the wind. You are not Medea. You are not Jason. You are not Orpheus. You are safe. You are here. You are whole. Let the poison evaporate. Let the fire go out. Let the dragons fly away. There is only the cool, dark night left. The night that forgives everything. The night that buries everything. Rest in the knowledge that you do not have to be a hero. You do not have to be a legend. You just have to be. Just breathe. Just sleep. The curse is broken by the simple act of closing your eyes. Sleep. The dragon chariot of Medea has vanished into the sun. The screams of the poisoned princess have faded. We leave the tragedies of individuals behind. and move towards the tragedy of nations. We drift across the Aegean Sea. The water below is dark, wine dark, as Homer called it. It is deep and indifferent. We approach the coast of Asia Minor. We are looking for a city of high walls, a city of gold, Troy, but it is not there. There are no towers reaching for the sky. There are no flags snapping in the wind. There are no heroes walking the battlements. There is only silence and ash. We have arrived at the end of the 10-year war, the Trojan War. The wooden horse has done its work. The gates were opened. The fire has burned itself out. Now, there is only the after. Imagine, standing in the ruins of the great hall of Priam. The roof has collapsed. The sky is visible above, gray and heavy with smoke. Hiss! Smoke still rises from the blackened beams. It curls up slowly, lazily, writing forgotten alphabets in the air. The ground is covered in a layer of gray ash. It is soft, deep, like snow. Crunch. Soft. Crunch. Walk through it. Your feet sink into the remains of a civilization. The ash muffles your footsteps. It muffles the world. It smells of burnt cedar, of melted bronze, of old tapestries that have turned to dust. It is a heavy, sleep-inducing smell, the smell of a fire that is finally, mercifully, out. In the center of the ruin stands a woman, Helen, the face that launched 1,000 ships. She is untouched by the soot. Her white dress is pristine. Her golden hair is bright. She stands perfectly still, a statue of beauty in a landscape of death. She looks at the emptiness. She thinks of Paris. He is dead, shot by an arrow. She thinks of Hector, dead, dragged through the dirt. She thinks of Achilles, dead, shot in the heel. All the noise, all the rage, all the shouting of men, it has all come to this. Silence. Dust. Was it worth it? The question hangs in the air, unanswered. The gods who started it, Hera with her jealousy, Aphrodite with her bribe, they have gone back to Olympus. They are drinking nectar. They have forgotten the game. But Helen remains, a ghost in a graveyard. She helped create. She closes her eyes. She breathes in the ash. She lets go of the guilt. It is too heavy to carry. She lets go of the name Helen of Troy. She is just Helen now. She is just a weary soul standing in the quiet wreckage. The wind blows. Whoosh. It stirs the ash. It swirls around her ankles. It buries the past. Layer by layer. Year by year. Troy sinks into the earth. The grass grows over the stones. The sheep graze where kings once died. The war is over. The sleep of history begins. We leave Helen there, fading into the mist. We descend. We go deeper than we have ever gone before. We go to the place where all curses end up, the underworld, Tartarus, but not to the place of fire, not to the place of torture. We go to the place of work, the place of the endless task. We find the Danaids, the 49 daughters of Danaus. Remember them? The brides who killed their husbands on their wedding night. 49 daggers in the dark, 49 last breaths. For their crime, they were sent here, to the field of jars. Imagine a vast, dim cavern. The ceiling is lost in shadows. The only light comes from a pale, phosphorescent moss on the walls. In the center of the cavern is a great stone basin, a cistern. It is huge, wide as a lake. Standing around it are the women, 49 of them. They are dressed in white robes that trail on the wet floor. They hold jars, amphorae, made of clay. The jars are heavy, cool, rough to the touch. They walk in a line, a slow, silent procession. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. They walk to the river of the underworld, the dark, cold water. They kneel, rustle of cloth. They dip the jars into the water. Gurgle, glue, glue. The water fills the clay vessels. It is icy, It smells of minerals and forgetfulness. They stand up. The jars are heavy now. The water sloshes inside. They carry them to the great basin. They tip the jars. Splash. Pour. The water cascades into the basin. It sounds like rain. It sounds like a waterfall. It is a soothing, white noise. But look at the basin. Look closely. At the bottom, there are holes, cracks in the stone. The water does not stay. It leaks out. Drip, rush, drain. It flows back into the earth, back to the river. The basin never fills. It is an impossible task. But the women, they do not cry. They do not scream. They do not stop. They turn around. They walk back to the river. They refill the jars. They walk back. They pour. It is a loop, a perfect closed circle of action. Fill, carry, pour, empty. Fill, carry, pour, empty. Watch them. Their faces are blank, calm, hypnotic. They have surrendered to the rhythm. They have stopped counting the years. They have stopped counting the gallons. There is no finish. There is only now. There is a strange peace in this. They don't have to make decisions. They don't have to plot. They don't have to fear. They just have to pour. The sound of the water is a lullaby. Shh, splash, shh. It washes away their thoughts. It washes away your thoughts. Imagine you are one of them, not suffering, just doing. Feel the cool clay in your hands. Feel the weight of the water. Watch it pour out. Watch it disappear. It represents your worries. Pour them into the basin. Watch them leak away. Pour them out. Leak away, over and over again. The repetition is a cradle. It rocks you. Left, right, river, basin, river, basin. The timeline dissolves. There is no future. There is no past. There is only the water. The eternal, cool, cleansing water. Let the sound fill your head. Let it drown out the waking world. You are in the cave. You are safe. You are part of the cycle. The curse has become a meditation. The punishment has become a rest. The sound of the pouring water fades into the distance. The 49 women continue their work, but we are drifting away from them. We are floating deeper into the velvet darkness of the underworld. We have reached the end of the journey. There are no more stories to tell, no more heroes to mourn, no more monsters to fight. The book of myths is closed. We are approaching the final river, not the Styx, the river of hate, not the Acheron, the river of pain. We are approaching the Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, the river of oblivion, the river of sleep. Imagine the riverbank. The grass here is soft and white, like heavy mist. It makes no sound when you step on it. Hush, hush. Poppies grow here. Millions of them. Black poppies. Heavy with opium. Heavy with dreams. They nod their heads in the gentle breeze. The scent is sweet, thick, intoxicating. It slows your heart rate. It relaxes your muscles. Inhale, exhale. The river flows slowly. It is not water. It is liquid silver, liquid moonlight. It glows softly in the dark. It moves without a sound. No splashing, no ripples, just a smooth, glass-like slide towards eternity. Kneel by the river. The air is cool. It feels like a soft hand on your forehead. Look into the water. You do not see your reflection. You see the reflection of the stars. This water washes away memory. It washes away the curses. It washes away the House of Atreus. It washes away the anger of Hera. It washes away the grief of Orpheus. It washes away the day you have just had. Cup your hands. Dip them into the cool silver liquid. Bring it to your lips. Drink. It tastes of nothing and everything. It tastes of silence. It tastes of the space between stars. Feel it slide down your throat, cooling your chest. calming your stomach, spreading through your veins. The memories are dissolving. The names are fading. Agamemnon, gone. Oedipus, gone. Helen, gone. You, gone. There is no you anymore. There is only the sensation of resting, the shutdown, the statue garden. Now, imagine we are walking into a garden. It is filled with statues, beautiful white marble statues. They are the people from our stories, but they are sleeping. There is Zeus. He is a statue now, sitting on his throne. His eyes are closed. The thunderbolt rests idly in his lap. The storm is over. There is Hera, a statue of white stone. Her jealousy has turned to marble. She is peaceful. There is Hercules, resting on his club. His labors are finished. His muscles are stone. He does not have to fight anymore. There is the Minotaur, sleeping in the center of the labyrinth. He is not a monster. He is just a stone bull, dreaming of green fields. And there is an empty pedestal. It is waiting for you. Climb up, sit down, or lie down. Arrange your limbs. Get comfortable. Feel the transformation begin. We are going to turn you to stone, not the stone of a tomb, but the stone of a masterpiece. Warm, smooth, heavy marble. It starts at your feet. Your feet are turning to white stone. They fuse with the pedestal. They are grounded, immovable. The sensation moves up your ankles, your calves. Your legs are becoming solid, heavy. You cannot move them. You do not want to move them. The stone moves up your thighs, your hips. Your lower body is a solid block of peace. It moves up your spine, vertebra by vertebra. Click, 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 locking you into a position of perfect rest. Your chest turns to stone. Your breath becomes shallow, slow, imperceptible, like the erosion of a mountain. Very slow, very steady. Your arms turn to stone. Your hands rest in your lap, heavy, still. Your neck turns to stone. It supports your head effortlessly. The stone creeps over your face. It smooths out the worry lines on your forehead. It relaxes the jaw. It seals the eyelids. Your eyes are closed. They are marble now. They will not open. You are a statue in the garden of sleep. The wind blows leaves around your feet. You do not feel them. The rain falls softly. You do not feel it. Time passes. Centuries pass. You stand still. You sleep. The final countdown. The descent into the void. You are stone on the outside, but inside, there is still a tiny spark of consciousness, a small, blue flame. We are going to blow it out. We are going to descend the 10 steps into the void. Imagine a staircase carved into the bedrock of the universe. It leads down into the velvet dark. I will count you down. With each number, the blue flame gets smaller. With each number, the silence gets louder. Sure, step down. The world of Greek myth fades away. Olympus is gone. The underworld is gone. There are no gods, only gravity pulling you down. Zio, step down. The world of the living fades away. Your room, your bed, your house, they are distant memories, shadows on the wall. You are leaving them behind. Ba, step down. Your body fades away. You are not stone anymore. You are mist. You are a cloud floating in the night sky, weightless, formless. T, step down. Your name fades away. You are not who you think you are. You are just a breath, in and out, one with the wind. Leo, step down. Emotions fade away. Fear, hope, love, regret. They are heavy luggage. Drop them. Leave them on the step. You travel lighter now. Woo. Step down, halfway to the bottom. The darkness is absolute. It is a warm, nurturing darkness, like the inside of an egg. Safe, protected. Step down. Thoughts fade away. The voice in your head stops talking. The logic breaks down. Colors start to swirl. Shapes dissolve. You are entering the dream state. San, step down, deeper, into the core of the earth. The heartbeat of the planet is slow. Boom, boom. Sink your heart to it. R, step down. Almost there. The void is opening up to catch you. It is a soft net of stars. Fall into it. E, step down. You have arrived. 0, nothing. Silence. The good night. You are floating in the great ocean of sleep. The currents of the night carry you gently. You are safe. You are loved by the darkness. You are watched over by the silence. The myths are over. The struggle is over. The day is over. Let the river take you. Let the stone hold you. Let the night keep you. Drift, float, sink, deep sleep, ancient sleep, eternal sleep. Good night, good night, good night.